Hey, it's Eric Lima. It's me. As you can see, you're watching another episode, EML77TV. Episode 378. What's going on? October the 12th, 2019. 10:12 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning. What's going on, everybody? And trying to get back into the sense of normalcy after all that's transpired this past week, or this last weekend. And I have to admit, it wasn't the easiest week to get through, but it was good overall. In fact, it's been a rough start to the month of October for me, but hopefully I will change things, turn things around, and we'll see what happens. We know the holiday season's coming up. Always the holidays have always been my favorite time of the year, but lately, well, as of late, it's not. I think we have everything going on in this country and everything going crazy and all. It's, it hasn't been that simple enjoying the holidays, Like I said, we had family fallouts, family tragedies, everything just, everything has been happening. So just to say that this will be the first Thanksgiving and Christmas without both of my grandparents from my father's side of the family, because my grandmother, like I said, recently did pass away, and we had to wake and funeral and everything else, and quite the experience being a pallbearer at my grandmother's funeral. So it was something to behold. Like I said, it is what it is, unfortunately. So once again, I want to thank everybody for their condolences and prayers and their thoughts, and appreciate that wholeheartedly, and my family does too. So trying to get back in the sense of normalcy, like I said, but my family and normalcy, being normal, like oil and water don't mix. Let me tell you something. But whatever. Let's try and have some fun. Let's try to get back into what I like to do, is be entertaining and fun and making people smile. Let's do it. We're going to talk about some wrestling, if you don't mind. Macho Man wrestling. Ooh, yeah. Dig it, brother. Yeah. Talk some wrestling. Yeah. Professional wrestling. What you got in your mind, Eric? Yeah. They always got the brain going, doing the thing. Yeah, brother. Yeah. A little Macho Man for you. Check it out. Last night, now, me and my friend Jordan Little did a little bit of a podcast between the two of us. It was on the StreamYard. But check out the link, because he's got his own YouTube channel. I'm going to give you the link in the description in the video that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about the main event last night at SmackDown Live. We talk about I'll talk about the draft on another episode once the draft is complete on Monday Night Raw. We had some great picks already, and if you probably know the picks already, but you never know what will develop. And I gotta tell you, it's been a little bit on the crazy side. So Raw and SmackDown starting to shape up, and you're talking about USA versus Fox. Craziness happens. But I want to talk about last night's main event at SmackDown, if you don't mind. Charlotte Flair, who beat Bayley at Hell in a Cell to become a 10-time women's champion, defends it against Bayley herself. Now, before I saw that matchup, I was hanging out with my friend Jordan Little on an episode, StreamYard episode called Rasslin, Rants, and Random Roasts R4. And it was the first episode, and it was called Refund in the Cell. And you can check it out. Like I said, the video, the link, check out his channel. Link will be in the description, as well as the video. The link to that video in the description as well, or you can go to the channel and check it out. And go to near the 25-minute mark, because this is where we talked about the Women's Championship, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match between Bayley, who was a champion this past Sunday, against Charlotte Flair. Now, Charlotte Flair beat Bayley to win the title. But Friday Night SmackDown came around. Now, Bayley did, I talked a little bit to Jordan about this, and I said that Bayley needs to dial in to her killer instinct, to her heel side, to her ruthless aggression persona. And the way she is going to do that, she's got to cut the hair, get rid of the side ponytail. Even I love the 80s, but that's 80s. We're talking 2019. Get rid of the whacking, waving, inflatable tube men, a.k.a. Bayley buddies. Get rid of them. Have a whole new attitude. get on the microphone and say, you know what? I did everything, tried to do everything for you people. Well, guess what? Screw you all. Right? And I said that. This is before I ended up watching SmackDown last night, and I called it. Bayley did exactly what I said she needed to do, and it happened. The metamorphosis of Bayley, of this brand new Bayley, of Bayley's ruthless aggression is complete. She was wearing a hoodie, but she was wearing a hoodie when she came in. Took off the hoodie, she cut her hair, grabbed a little axe handle or a hatchet basically, and just chopped down the whacking, waving inflatable tube men, aka Bayley buddies, and it hit so hard, and in that display hit so hard it made a little child cry. I mean, if you do that, it's just mind-blowing, okay? But you know who also is crying? Possibly Byron Saxton somewhere. You know, somewhere Byron Saxton is crying. You know, why the wacky waving inflatable tube men? You know, I've always had a feeling, that Bayley needed to get off that Nancy Kerrigan-like schneid that she was in at Hell in a Cell when she lost the title. It was like, why me, why? All that. And I told Jordan Little this, and guess what? I told him, I said, Jordan, she needs to dial in to that ruthless aggression. She needs to freaking dial in. Cut the hair. When she got her haircut, I figured Gina Carano, in her American Gladiator days as Crush, you know what I'm saying? And that's what lined me up. And then she starts chopping off the whacking, waving, and flipping tube men with a little axe handle that has a couple blades in the end. I'm like, well, I'll be. She's finally done it. She did what I knew exactly. She said, now here's the thing. I should give Becky, I'd be thinking I could blame Becky Lynch because this is all her fault. No, I'm not blaming Becky Lynch. I'm giving Becky Lynch credit. She says she wants the women's division, whether it be Raw or SmackDown, to step up, and that's what happened. Charlotte Flair stepped up. Sasha Banks stepped up. Now Bayley is stepping up. And you know what, though? They say anything can happen in WWE, right? We have the 4 horsewomen of the MMA under the WWE banner, under the WWE contract. Ronda Rousey, who's nursing an injury right now. And you got Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir all on NXT. Imagine if you will. Now, if you noticed, all 4 horsewomen of NXT, the original 4 horsewomen of NXT, that would be Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. They all start developing a new attitude, like more of a ruthless, aggressive attitude, or more of an attitude. They got more attitude in them. They're going to need that attitude. They're going to need that ruthless, aggressive attitude. Because if they ever want to stand a chance against the 4 horsewomen of the MMA, they need to have that, excuse my language, badass attitude to get them to help them stand their ground against the MMA 4 horsewomen. Think about that for a minute, kids. Think about that for a minute, folks. I mean, just, people want to see this. People want to see this collision. I mean, it teased it during the first ever Mae Young Classic. They had. Which Shayna Baszler lost to Kairi Sane in the tournament final. Imagine that. There were seeds planted. There were seeds and starting to grow just a little bit. It takes time to grow. I believe if Ronda Rousey comes back from an injury and comes back to the WWE to wrestle, this could happen either. Well, it can't happen at Survivor Series. We're about a month away, basically. And they'll be focusing on the brand wars. No WrestleMania. WrestleMania. But Jordan had a point, though. None of the 4 horsemen of the WWE or the 4 horsemen of MMA should have any titles. Imagine that. Imagine, if you will. Those 8 ladies go at it. You're going to need the 82nd Airborne to stop this fight. That's how crazy. You know, you put them in the same room, they're going to brawl and beat the heck out of each other to the point where you're going to need the entire locker rooms, both men and women, to separate these 8 ladies. I mean, this is going to, if it happens, which I'm hoping it does, sooner than later, imagine the possibilities. I mean, I got to give it to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the man. She proved it. She may be on the Raw roster now as the Raw Women's Champ, but if you think about it, Becky Lynch got this thing started. She got the ball rolling. There were seeds planted at the Mae Young Classic. But Becky Lynch decided to do something to prove that the 4 horsewomen of NXT/WWE are legit. She got Charlotte Flair to step up her game. She got Sasha Banks to step up her game. And now it's Bayley's turn, and the Bayley's Ruthless Aggression Metamorphosis has been complete. And I called it before the show even started. If you don't believe me, go to Jordan Little's channel. Go to the video, Rasslin, Rants, and Random Roasts R4. Go to the 25-minute mark where we talk about the Women's Championship matchup at the SmackDown Women's Championship matchup at Hell in a Cell. And you'll see what I mean. Trust me, kids. Trust me. I never call anything, and I never predicted anything right on the money before. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I was right on the money on this one. I called it. That's all I gotta say is I called it. I called it. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. But I'm giving credit to Becky Lynch. She started this. Don't say it's Becky Lynch's fault. She started it. She made every woman, Raw or SmackDown or even NXT, to step up their game and say, I am going to be a champion no matter what happens. I'll do whatever it takes to be champion. She made every woman step up. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Amazing. Very amazing. All right. That will be it. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about last night's Bayley's Ruthless Aggression Metamorphosis. And it was festering along, and then I think it all started when she realigned herself with Sasha Banks by nailing Becky in the back with a steel chair. And you figured it's Metamorphosis, but it is complete. It's complete. And I like it. And it's going to be really, really good. Bayley, best of luck to you. I mean, even her biggest fan, Izzy Mania, loved it. I'm telling you, all 4 horsewomen are stepping up their game. If I were Rousey, Baszler, Duke, Shafir, I step up your game. Ronda Rousey, when you come back and you decide to come back in the square circle, step up your game. You always saw the MMA and boxing worlds mixing up with the WWE. You got Crown Jewel coming up on Halloween, October 31st. WWE title will be on the line. Brock Lesnar will defend the title against Cain Velasquez. Wow. And then Tyson Fury is going to go one-on-one with SmackDown's newest acquisition, Braun Strowman. That's going to be a matchup in itself. And believe me, I know a lot of people complain, oh, we're not going to watch Crown Jewel because of Saudi or, listen, leave politics out of this, all right? We know what happened to that journalist. It's, I can understand you got morals and everything else, have a moral compass, but, I can understand and respect that, but the fact of the matter is, man, it's just, but the WWE has nothing to do with that. They just, only they was they were doing business. I know some wrestlers had, had reservations. I forget the word. They had second thoughts about this, so some of them have chosen not to go and all that, whatever. But Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar. Tyson Fury against Braun Strowman. 2 matches I'm going to see. I want to see how Fury and Velasquez deal with the squared circle. It's going to be a lot of fun. Be very interesting to see what happens. Let's see, another wrestling news. We know 2 women is signed with NXT. Rumor has that Scarlett Bordeaux and Shotzi Blackheart is signed on with the WWE. So it'll be very interesting to see where those 2 ladies end up. Probably going to start on NXT, which is, I think, it's going to be huge for them. Will the killer Kevin Cross head his girlfriend's way? Maybe. Kevin Cross. He is like Psycho Sid and Jake the Snake Roberts combined. That's what Killer Cross reminds me of, and that is a good thing. In his height, and he's very powerful. And I'll tell you what, though, he's probably a complete package, and I'm sure. And I would not be surprised if Vince jumped on this and said, "Hey, I would like to have you come work for the WWE." You never know. Will he end up in AEW? Don't know for sure. We don't know what Killer Cross will end up. All I know is Impact has not been good to him, so he'll probably go to a company that will be good to him. So be on the lookout for the killer Kevin Cross. He'll be somewhere. About the rumors of John Morrison coming back to the WWE, we have not yet. Who knows for sure what's going on in that situation, if it's really indeed legit, or will he come back to Impact Wrestling and be with his wife and all. So that's is Impact fighting off an injury? We never know. Never know with him. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, there are 2 storylines in Impact Wrestling that really kind of okay, this is going to be fun. One of those Impact storylines is Ace Austin and Eddie Edwards, and they fought for the qualifying match for the X Division. Ace Austin, I believe, won the match. But Ace Austin is wearing a T-shirt called Austin 369, which 369. I'm like, oh boy! Everybody trying to rip off Stone Cold Steve Austin now. And in the back it says, "I just banged your wife." What in the world is Ace Austin thinking? And there were 2 hot chicks at ringside. He made out with one of them before the match and during the match. I'm like, this guy is just a snake in the grass. He's trying to play mind games with Eddie Edwards. I mean, he's just. If I can get it on with this guy's wife, I could get inside his head. That's what basically. I think he's just using that situation just to get inside his opponent, Eddie Edwards' head, and make him lose. I mean, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm like, this Ace Austin guy is a jerk and a half. He makes MJF look like Mr. Rogers, for God's sakes. And then the other story, Sami Callihan and Brian Cage. Let's talk about that. Sami Callihan ruined a wedding by cracking Melissa Santos in the head with a beer bottle. And now, last night, he pile drove her in front of Brian Cage. Sami Callihan is more of a modern-day Jake the Snake Roberts. And believe me, Sami Callihan is a psychotic, crazy person. And if I were the rest of OVE, including Madman Fulton and Sami Callihan, I stay the hell away from Brian Cage, man. Because once Brian Cage gets his hands on any one of them or all of them, call 911, they'll be in the hospital with body casts. You don't do that to a man's wife and get away with it. Case in point, this guy versus Jake the Snake Roberts in 91. I mean, think about it. Jake the Snake Roberts simply slapped Miss Elizabeth and it infuriated Macho Man. Imagine, if you will, the magnitude of these feuds. And then you go over to Raw, you got Bobby Lashley and Lana making out in front of Rusev. You got Baron Corbin and King Baron Corbin and Randy Orton laughing, giggling like a couple of little schoolgirls or schoolboys. And, you know, and I like this mean, ruthless, aggressive Rusev now. If he can beat up Orton and Corbin, look out. You know, they got Team Hogan, Team Flair, 10-man tag at Crown Jewel as well. Crazy, isn't it? It's insane. It's insane. Mind-blowing, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. These storylines are nuts. Oh, hey, let's make things interesting. Let's have one mess with another man's wife. Are you kidding me? You know, I'd be like, I just want to wrestle and win championships, man. You know? Unbelievable. 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 So, let's see what happens. We'll see what happens in these upcoming events, in the upcoming wrestling events. We had the draft. I'll talk about the draft on another channel another time, and to give you the overall draft. That way we can, base covered. We'll ask you who would win, who would lose in this situation. Remember, the network executives are going to be influencing the decisions people are making, so it's going to be a lot of craziness going on. We'll know for sure what's up. So that's it. You know, bottom line is Bayley's ruthless aggression metamorphosis complete. That's all I gotta say. All right, that's all the time we have on this show. God's blessings, life, love, and light to all of you. Catch you on the flip side. Pay attention, man. Learn something. Remember this, kids. Yes, there are things in our past we cannot change. But sometimes there are current situations also that have been tough on us. But we can change those situations unless there's situations that we have no control over. Because sometimes there are situations that we have no control over and that we can't change. But there are situations that we can change in this present time that we can work hard for a better future. Easy? I don't think so. It will be a challenge overall. Like I said, back to normalcy. Isn't going to be easy either. Well, I mean my family, but we'll see. All right, episode 378 is complete, and I'll see you guys, and have a good day.